Hello. This is Detroit AllyCat, and you're back to my channel. It's been about a week and a half since I made a video, and I'm happy to have you here. So without further ado, let's get spooky. Okay, so today I'm going to talk about something that I went through this week, and it's really important that I do a little quick disclaimer because I've already gotten some repercussions for talking about it on Facebook, which, whatever. But I do want to talk about it here because I feel like there are some people that want to hear what I went through. So I'm just going to say before I explain, this is my personal journey, mine, about my body, and my experience with what I'm going to talk about. My experience. And I know some of you are like, why did she just do that? Because some people are going to come on here and tell me that what I experienced was wrong. I don't know what I'm talking about and all these things. And you know what? I will happily tell you, I don't care what you have to say. I don't. You don't care what I'm saying. So just save it. Like, seriously, there are people out there who want to hear what I have to say. So if you post something negative and ignorant on my YouTube channel, I'm going to block you and erase your comment. So save your fingers from typing because it will just get deleted and move on to another channel. I'm not going to get your herb supplement banned from the FDA. I have no issue with it. If it works for you, great. If it doesn't, whatever. But for the rest of you guys that want to be here, I'm going to talk about Kratom and what I went through while on Kratom and my personal experience. So let's just dive right into it. I actually got very, very sick while I was in the Army, and I ended up getting put on a Norco regimen. And it wasn't like, I don't know if it was a big Norco regimen or what, but it was enough that when I stopped taking painkillers that I actually went through really horrible withdrawals. But once you're taking painkillers, you don't care about the withdrawals. You'll just continue to do so and try not to experience those, which you will anyway. So, then there was the opioid epidemic. I think that was around 2015, 2016. Some of you are going to be like, no, you're wrong. It was this year. Well, this was the year that it affected me in Michigan. And I know I'm getting a little bit sassy, but some of the comments and things that I've received were like, okay, you had this experience, but you couldn't have had that one. Well, some of you don't even live in my state, and your state laws are different than mine. You don't have the same governor I have. Maybe you do. Maybe you don't. I don't know, but I'm just telling you my experience. Anyway, back to the story. As you can see, I feel a little bit hostile because I woke up today and on my post that I made on Facebook about my experience, a bunch of girls decided to go on and on about how I didn't know what I was talking about, and if that's the experience that I had, that, I was wrong. It really just kind of like flew me into a rage because right now I'm beginning to feel my body again, and I'm not handling my emotions well. Honestly, I've always had a temper. So it's very hard when you're doing something and it's a personal struggle to have someone knock you in your face and like shame you. And it kind of sucked that I ran upon it, but it is what it is. Anyway, let's get back to it. So the opioid epidemic happened, and they basically said you cannot have these painkillers anymore. They're evil, which I feel really bad for the people that have to use them, because now they're being taken away from them. And there are people that really need them. Like, I'm not saying opioids are bad because that's not my journey. I know there have been people that have been blown up in other countries fighting for this country. And I know that there are people with like severe autoimmune disorders and cancer and all kinds of things. And opioids have their place. And the fact that the government is trying to control them and tell people that they're bad, it blows my mind. But regardless. So, once you stop doing narcotics after a certain amount of time, your body is gonna go into some kind of crazy shock. And it did. And I could not handle it. So I wanted to figure out what to do without talking to my doctor about it, which honestly I could have, but I didn't want to. Because once you get put that you have to take this substance to medically withdrawal, they mark you as an addict. And you guys may not agree with that again, but I know for a fact that's what happened with my doctor. So I looked up herbal remedy for withdrawals and I found Kratom. And I was like, wow, cool. I can get this. And I'll be honest with you, I didn't look up herbal remedy for withdrawals. I looked up herbal supplement that mocks narcotic regimen, and that's what I found. So that just gives you an idea. Now, I just went on about how opioids are not bad for you. I didn't mean it that way. Opioids have their place in this society, but just like anything, opioids can be abused. Long time ago, they farmed opium to use as a remedy for your body as a painkiller. And we are the ones that made it into heroin. And we are the ones that decided that we were going to take it and get addicted and go through this insane journey of this problem. And it's something that, it's all about personal preference, choice, and journey. And I'm not going to say that it's so hard to explain because you talk about addiction and you think that you're never going to get addicted or you're never going to be in that position. I didn't think I was, seriously. But I was. And you can say that you can handle it all you want, but the fact of the matter is sometimes the substance that you're taking gets the upper hand on you. And you may not agree with me about that, but that's what happened to me. So I found Kratom, and in the beginning I took it and I just didn't take a lot of it. I was just here and there. And then all of a sudden I found myself in the throes of Kratom. I had read that if you take it, that you should do an off day to keep your tolerance down, and that it's bad for your body to continually do Kratom. And that's the truth. If you are taking Kratom, don't do it continually. And I'm just speaking from my experience because your body will be flooded. Your opioid receptors will be messed with. I don't know how. I'm not a scientist, nor am I a doctor. But I know that my body changed from taking Kratom. And I didn't take Kratom over a month, 2 months. I took Kratom over a period of 4 years. And maybe that's not a lot to some of you. Maybe you guys are heavy Kratom users and been doing it for a second. But every single time I woke up, I would be withdrawing so hard. And that became my thing. I would wake up and I would just go take Kratom. Before I went to my work, I would take Kratom. Before I made a video, I would take Kratom. Before I did anything. And if I forgot to take Kratom with me when I went to a job site because I travel with my job, I would look up where to buy Kratom and go purchase it. That is how serious it was. I mean, if I went 4 hours without taking Kratom, my legs started hurting, my stomach started hurting, I started feeling it in my arms. It was like this weird cold feeling. Some of you know exactly what I'm talking about. So this last year, I've been like, you know what? I don't want to take Kratom anymore. I had an incident. I kept taking Kratom one day, and my stomach just hurt. It felt like there was a ball in it. So there's 2 different ways you can ingest Kratom. Actually, there's a whole ton of ways you can ingest Kratom, but the way that I did it was I would take a big ball of powder and put it in my mouth and take water and swish it around and force it down. You can take it in pill form, but it's not as strong. I've heard you can smoke it. I heard that you can do it I've heard you could shoot it, snort it. I would never do that, but I guess you can do Kratom a whole bunch of ways. And so I kept taking it, and I just felt so sick. And I went in the bathroom and I threw up, and all this green powder was all over the toilet. And I just knew. I was like, this is not good for me. This is bad. And I thought I need to get off this. And it's something that I kept putting off because I had all these things I needed to do. I was very busy. Even though there's a pandemic, I still stay busy. It's always something with me. And then I bought this Kratom in the last couple weeks, and it was really weak. And every day, I felt it. It made me feel really bad. I just did not feel good. Like Kratom, the reason I used to love Kratom is because you'd take it and it was comfy and you could watch movies, but you weren't stoned. You just felt good. And I no longer needed Norco with it. So, I mean, totally awesome. And just so you know, all those little like groups that the Kratom users are on by the millions, I was on them. I'm probably still on them. I don't know if they've deleted me since because they think that I'm gonna like get Kratom banned by the FDA, which I'm not, but yeah, I was on those groups and I was always with them like, yeah, this is so great. And it is for people that need to get off something or people that need pain medication. It is, but it's got repercussions, just like drinking too much pop, except times 10. So anyway, I had the bad Kratom and I was like, you know what? I'm going to do this. It was like jumping off of a freaking cliff and it was scary, but I know that it was my window of opportunity. And if I didn't do it, I would never do it. And so I did. And the first day I laid in bed, literally screaming. Swear to God. I felt like I was going to throw up. It was like pins and needles. I couldn't even stand up. Like, I just listened to like really hardcore music and laid in bed and felt the pain. And then the second day, it was like almost the same thing. And then the third day, you start getting mad because you're like, okay, I'm on day 3. There should be some relief. But it's kind of like worse because now at this point, you're on day 3 and you're still hurting. And then day 4 rolls around and you're like, yeah, I'm going to feel better. And you're like, I don't feel better. I feel like total... I don't know if I can say that. So I feel like total not good. And then day 5 showed up. I think I'm on day 6 right now. My husband says I'm on day 5. But it's been 6 wake-ups for me since I stopped doing Kratom. And I still feel like I'm having problems like concentrating. I didn't even want to make a video today. Like, I made a post on my Facebook like, I'm doing this, I'm getting off this, and I talked about it. Somebody asked me if they could share it on their page, and I was like, sure, but I have a feeling a bunch of Kratom users are going to attack me. And as sure as I knew they were going to do it, they did. And I don't know, it's almost like your body is like, your pain receptors have been numb and they're coming alive again. So while you're getting out of it, they're firing. They're just pain. And that's the same thing with your emotions. You've been numb for so long and now it's like you can feel everything. And that's good. I'm glad. But when I'm angry, I'm really angry. And, you know, this 20-year-old girl is on there talking about me, and I'm, like, getting ready to get in the car, forgetting that I feel horrible. But, you know, like, I just deleted all my stuff, and somebody was like, you need to keep this up because there are people out there that need to hear this information. And you know what? She was right. There are people that need to hear this information. Because if you decide to do Kratom, you need to know that you can be sitting right here. I don't think that I'm like a bad person. I don't think that I'm like a person that like loses control easily. I do like to do some very risky things. Like, I'm not afraid to do things that are a little bit edgy. I mean, if you know what I do for a living, I mean, I guess that sounds really bad. I'll tell you what I do for a living. I own a circus company and I'm a fire performer. And I just love fire. That's like my thing. And it was so weird. I had fire practice like on Wednesday and I felt horrible. And the only time I felt good was when I was like practicing with my group. And I have to tell you, I think that exercise helps what happens when you finally decide to stop taking Kratom. So if you are looking for information on Kratom, I want you to know that it's nothing to be ashamed of. And do not let some crazy kids that got off heroin with Kratom bully you. Number one, good for them for getting off heroin. That's awesome. That's so good. And I'm so glad Kratom could help you. But don't you dare try to tell somebody how they should feel. Because you yourself have been judged. So why would you do that to somebody else? Why? Anyway, back to the people who are listening to me. Don't let anybody tell you what you're feeling is not valid. Because I'm here to tell you that if you were doing Kratom for a long time nonstop, you're probably withdrawing and it feels like hell. Like hell. It has been 6 wake-ups for me. 11 o'clock at night, I stopped. So 6 wake-ups. I'm still struggling. Still, I'm having a hard time thinking. I'm having a hard time walking. I'm eating like crazy. There are other things happening to me that I'm not going to discuss, but I'm guessing you probably know what I'm talking about. And I'm just getting through it. I'm taking every day as I can. But I will tell you this. The one thing that helped me get through it the most is I thought about how far I had gone and how I'd never done it before and how there was no turning back. And I'm not going to lie, every single day I thought, you know what? If I have some Kratom, I can stop this. And it's still there. But I needed to do this. I needed to do this because, one, I wanted my kids to watch what it was like to get off of a substance that can hold you so very, very tight, because it's important to know. And two, I wanted to be able to enjoy the rest of my life with my own mind, not my numbed out, not thinking right mind. And again, I'm saying this is how I felt. I don't know how whoever's watching this felt, but that's how I felt. And I just needed to do it. And I'm proud of myself for doing it. And I hope that if you're watching this video and you're scared of quitting, that you do it, because it will hurt for a while, but it's going to end eventually, and you are going to have your life back. And that is going to be an amazing thing. So I hope that this was a helpful video for you. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, hit me up in the comments. Let me know what you think. Please try to remember to be respectful, because I have no tolerance for ignorant posts, ignorant little comments. I'm not playing that right now. If you don't like my video, move along. There's like 100 million things to watch on YouTube besides little old me. And yeah, stay safe, stay spooky. Leave me a like, comment, if you leave me an upside down, like, little thummy thing, just know that that counts as, like, it's like a good thing for you. I can't explain it right now because it shows that the people are watching it and they're getting upset. So if you don't like this video and you give me a thumbs down, that's still going to count on my side. I'm not making it up. Google it if you'd like. I don't know where I was going. See, I'm lost a little bit today, but I'm so happy I was able to share this with you. And yeah, stay spooky and stay safe.